Greetings, YouTube. Gods, I don't want to talk about this topic, but I think it's important. The question then is how to dwell in the ambivalent place where we acknowledge that no one is obligated to desire anyone else, that no one has a right to be desired, but also that who is desired and who isn't is a political question, a question usually answered by more general patterns of domination and exclusion. And this is from an essay called "Does Anyone Have the Right to Sex?" Now, someone made a comment below in this discussion on Metafilter, and they talked about the fact that they feel that everyone does have a right to sex. The government has no business interfering that if two or more people want to engage in sexual activity. And I have to agree with them. The government has no place sticking their nose into whether people have consensual activity like that. But you don't deserve sex, and no one does. If you don't want to play the game out there that entails establishing a relationship with someone until they want to have consensual sex with you, then you don't get any. That's just the way it is. And someone else made a comment here. I've captured this so I can read it now. Yes, it's all about seeing women as people. Incel guys feel entitled to a woman who shows all the signifiers of a status object. Blonde hair, thigh gap, the works. The nerd girls, who might genuinely share their interests in life, aren't usually given to investing as much time and money into a high-status appearance, so they don't count. They're failures as women. The incel would not hate us so much if he did not hate himself more. Now, you notice the use of the word incel, which is a portmanteau of involuntarily celibate. And it's almost every time I see it on the internet, it is someone referring to themselves as an incel. It does not seem to be used as a derogatory comment, but one that people identify themselves with. And it's kind of fascinating because the person is looking at themselves through a lens that is biased and skewed from the get-go. They are seeing themselves very much as, if I am celibate, I have achieved a status that I do not want. Okay, then get out there and do something about it. That's the whole thing right there. You have to put the effort in to establish a relationship. It's not about putting friendship tokens into someone until sex falls out. It's about finding someone, or someones, in case you're going after more than one person, to have a relationship. And that takes effort and work. Now, I've never spoken to someone like this in person. I don't really think I want to. But one of the questions I would theoretically ask them is that if you look at the behavior of your average incel, would you date someone like that? And the answer is probably going to be no. And I fear that the person would not get my point. Relationships take work. I am not conventionally attractive. I freely admit this. I have no problem with that. And yet, I'm married. I've been married twice. I've had relationships. Before my first marriage, I've had relationships that were fun, that were healthy. Not all of them, but fun and healthy ones that entailed getting to know a person and then establishing a relationship. It took work. It took effort. It took talking. It took being honest. And it isn't something you just get. It just isn't handed to you. You have to work at it. And anyone that thinks a relationship is not work has never been in a relationship. I've been married for 13 years. That takes effort. That takes talking. That takes sharing things. That takes all the good things and all the bad things. And it just isn't puppies and sunshine all the time. I guess more appropriate for me would be, say, Kitties in Sunshine. And there are people that don't want to do that work. They just want a supermodel, even though they themselves are not a supermodel. If you'll note, supermodels often date other supermodel type people. Funny about that. Another aspect about this is that often you see people talking about pretty girls versus nerd girls, which implies that pretty girls are not smart, while nerd girls, of course, are smart but not conventionally attractive. That's a comparison I find unhealthy, ugly, misogynistic. And I have known plenty of people who are both attractive and smart. My wife is attractive. My wife's smart. My wife owns a CD of Lovecraftian sea shanties. You don't get any nerdier than that. So there are smart, attractive, nerdy girls out there if you're going to take the effort to befriend them and establish a relationship. Not going to do it? Okay, you're alone. You don't get anything out of life for free, folks. It takes work. And these incel guys don't want to put the work in. They just want to hit the jackpot and be able to show someone off as a status symbol. Because this isn't about establishing a relationship for them. This is about being able to show someone off and say, this person is mine. And that's twisted and unhealthy. There just isn't anything good about this topic. It's ugly all the way down. So I'm hoping that some of these dudes will eventually achieve the self-realization that they are the reason that they don't get dates. Funny how smart women don't want anything to do with them.